So we just got a huge amount of information about Assetto Corsa EVO, and it could be the best racing game ever, but there's also so much they're deliberately hiding from us, and I feel like I'm the only person speaking about this, but I want to give you my honest opinions on it. We know that, for example, there's only going to be 5 tracks at launch, but we still don't know how much it's going to cost, even though it's coming out in a few days' time, and we don't know the exact free roam area either that's going to be available in early access. So I thought what I'd do is I'd go through the recent reveal where they give us so much information, and I'm going to let you know what I like and what I'm kind of suspicious and concerned about, because I want to make sure that if we're going to be buying this game in January 2025, we have the best information about it. So let's kick off here.
Assetto Corsa EVO is the third chapter of the franchise and will be available on Steam in early access from January 16, 2025. The Early Access program invites you to join our growing community of dedicated players and experience the game months ahead of its official release at a special price that reflects its ongoing development.
So I think it's really interesting that they say we can experience the game sort of months ahead of release, which is an admission, I think, that Assetto Corsa EVO is not going to be, I'm just going to use a simple word here, it's not going to be ready, it seems, in January. Like, this is an early access. This is something that's kind of a sneak peek. Maybe in old days it would be a demo. We know that the team at Kunos have a great track record in delivering early access. They've done it in Assetto Corsa, they've done it in Assetto Corsa Competizione. So I think we can give them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. But I would say this, we've seen Le Mans Ultimate come in this year in early access, and now it's charging a lot for content, for cars, for tracks, for servers, for championships as well. We've seen Rennsport come in with kind of an early access saying everything's free, but then you need to buy the NFTs, sorry, not NFTs, evens. So there's been a lot of corruption, I think, of early access in sim racing. We have to hope that Assetto Corsa EVO is going to remain pure. Let me know in the comments if you got that pun. But I just want to let you know this is not going to be a full release at launch.
Your feedback during this phase will help us in fine-tuning gameplay, optimizing performance, and giving the game its overall polish.
The first build, available from January the 16th, will include 20 cars from several car brands, performance and car classes, and 5 circuits across 4 continents.
So there we go, it is confirmed. So at launch, early access launch, we are going to get 20 cars and 5 tracks. So that's really not a lot of tracks. Those tracks are going to get, I don't want to say boring, but it's going to get pretty narrow pretty quickly. Looking at the cars here, we've got a Bath, Alfa Romeo, Alpine, Audi, BMW, Cadillac, Chevrolet, Ferrari, Ford, Honda, Hyundai, Lamborghini, what's that, Lancia, Lotus, Maserati, Mazda, Mercedes-Benz, Mini, Morgan, Porsche, Toyota and Volkswagen. It's a decent lineup. Now, we know there's been confusion recently about whether Assetto Corsa EVO is going to be like a GT3 sim. It looks like it's not going to be the official GT3 sim of SRO Esports, and this is much more of a road car lineup, it seems. But I would say a decent lineup of cars, but a very slim lineup of tracks.
Laguna Seca, America, Brands Hatch and Imola, Europe, Mount Panorama, Australia, and Suzuka from Japan. Physically simulated track conditions, such as rubber built-up and wet surfaces, react dynamically in real time, adding authenticity to every lap. Environments are further enhanced by animated crowds, marshals, and race elements, bringing players into a detailed racing world.
Now, personally, I wouldn't say that animated crowds and marshals are anything you really want to shout about in 2025. That's completely standard. But I have driven Assetto Corsa EVO, I have been hands-on with it in the pre-release early access build, the alpha build, whatever it was, and it did have a very satisfying driving feel. Like, for me, I was pleasantly surprised by Assetto Corsa EVO. Now, have you seen my videos? I made a few with Michi Hoyer. He really wasn't impressed. So it's not fair to say that there's like uniform approval here. But in my opinion, it's looking like it's going to be a fun driving sim.
EVO continues the tradition of Assetto Corsa of being a genuine, 100% realistic racing simulation. And in the last 4 years, we worked so hard to improve even more the feeling behind the steering wheel. EVO performs an improved suspension damping and bump stop simulation, thanks to a new method for simulating how race car suspensions absorb bumps and shocks. We fine-tuned the tire model to better match real-world data and feedback from drivers. This means our simulations now more accurately reflect how tires behave on the track. We can now simulate additional types of suspension systems, like torsion beams and swing arms. This allows us to analyze how each type affects our car handling and ride quality.
Another area that's definitely controversial is the suspension, is the handling of the cars over curbs. Again, Michi Hoyer, he's a top esports driver. He didn't like the look of it. You can see in the slow-mo footage here whether it looks realistic or not. And I just want to take a moment. No word as to console release, no word as to VR as well in this whole reveal. Like, so many people are looking forward to Assetto Corsa EVO on console. I see you in the comments, and I also see my comments about VR as well. Maybe these are not priorities, maybe it's not happening in 2025, but this is what I mean when I say there's so much they're hiding or not telling us clearly about what's in their plans or not.
We have improved the accuracy of our multi-body dynamic solver, which is a tool that models how different parts of a car interact. This leads to more realistic simulations of vehicle behavior. In addition, thanks to the dynamic track simulation, we created a simulation of racetracks that takes into account charges such as a rubber buildup by tires and rain.
I think, by the way, it is a great thing that the Kunos team are so passionate about understanding how the real-world cars handle and then translating that into the sim. Kunos obviously a smaller team, a much smaller team than you'll see at, say, Forza or Gran Turismo, so I feel like the communication should be better and more direct. I've been lucky enough to drive in the real-world GT cars, supercars, and they all have different characteristics. And I think Assetto Corsa, a real USP of it is that the cars feel very unique in the sim. So hopefully we're going to see that in Assetto Corsa EVO, and that will explain why there's only 20 cars at launch.
You will enjoy the first part of the single-player mode, featuring practice sessions, quick races, and the Driving Academy, which is a new entry in the Assetto Corsa world.
So Driving Academy is basically, it's the Gran Turismo license system. Like, we don't need to beat about the bush. It's the Gran Turismo license system in Assetto Corsa EVO. It's been a great feature of Gran Turismo for 25 years now. So I think it's great this is coming to Assetto Corsa EVO. I think it's going to be really fun again to understand the different handling of the different cars.
The Driving Academy will allow you to learn step-by-step section of each track for the first release, driving a wide range of different cars in iconic challenges with the new A to B time attack game mode. Alongside the first release of the game economy features, this will allow you to obtain the driving license you need for your dream car.
Interesting here, they talk about game economy and driving licenses you'll need to get your dream car. So maybe we won't be able to obtain our dream cars until we've done the licenses. I'm not against that. I'm going to be smashing all the licenses in Assetto Corsa EVO when it comes out. I am worried about the in-game economy. Again, going back to Le Mans Ultimate, Rennsport, they're trying to charge us for a lot of content now. Is Assetto Corsa EVO going to charge us for the remainder of the content? They later say 100 cars will be in the game at the full launch. So how are those 80 cars coming? Are they going to be free or are they going to charge us for it? I think we need to know.
EVO is powered by a new DirectX 12 graphics engine that has been developed by Kunos and specifically designed for racing applications.
This is basically a shot at Unreal Engine 5, I think. Unreal Engine 5 has been very controversial in sim racing or Unreal Engine generally. Bit of stuttering, maybe not the best in VR as well. So they talk about this DirectX 12 engine that they've made themselves, but they're not talking about VR. They're not shouting about VR at all, which I find very, very, very surprising. Let me know what you think of that in the comments.
The new engine performs a fully dynamic weather system that creates a realistic sky ranging from clear to the darkest storm, utilizing volumetric clouds and fog capable of simulating localized precipitation, immersing you in an atmospheric experience.
This is something I think EVO is doing a lot better than Gran Turismo 7. Gran Turismo 7 is obsessed by, it's only going to bring rain to a track if they know the exact meteorological effects of it and where the stars are in the sky. Literally, EVO looks like it doesn't care. It's just going to bring dynamic rain to every track. And I think that's going to be exciting. I was lucky enough to drive in Bathurst in increasing rain and feel the aquaplaning, starting down the straights into the corners. Very, very, very exciting. Very engaging feel. Drove it on Fanatec equipment, Logitech equipment. Really engaging feel. So I think that's going to be great, this dynamic weather.
Dynamic global illumination and refined reflections driven by an advanced rendering algorithm bring environments to life. Of course, the content is getting a lot of attention from the community is the free roam in EVO, that faithfully recreates the iconic region in Germany that surrounds the legendary complex, the Nürburgring. The open world map will be released by summer 25 during the Assetto Corsa EVO early access period. It will be released in stages, allowing continuous update and new content, and it will be expanded over time. The area has been faithfully reproduced using advanced LiDAR technology and a Kunos proprietary terrain technology, for an unmatched level of accuracy and realism. To reproduce an area of this size, we developed an engine capable of reading the LiDAR data and generating a 3D mesh of the surfaces. Thanks to cadastral and geographical data, the engine can place trees, grass, objects and procedural buildings, while the most characteristic areas and details are reproduced using drone scans and photogrammetry. The open world area will also ensure an important level of interaction with players, who will have the opportunity to interact with the local businesses, rent cars, and upgrade their vehicles with aftermarket parts thanks to the numerous workshops and centers actually available in the area. The open world will expand to infinity the gameplay and the pleasure of driving, but you can consider it as a plus, not a mandatory feature to enjoy Assetto Corsa EVO.
So they say the open world's a plus. I've got a few questions here. By the way, if you enjoyed the video so far and you like this Honest Takes, please make sure you're subscribed. Double check you're subscribed. I personally really appreciate it. But I think here, I wonder if they're going to release a really small part of the Eiffel region to start with, and it's going to be buggy because they're using kind of this procedural generation LiDAR, and they're going to expect us to give them feedback and say, oh, there's a tree in the middle of the road here, or maybe not that extreme, but there's something not quite right here, and sort of use the community to crowdsource this, which I'm not massively against. But I think they need to let us know what is coming at launch. When I pay for my early access, what am I going to get in terms of a free roam area? Because for me, this is huge. On this channel, I've been shouting about free roam, not just in EVO, but also in Gran Turismo for a long time. I think it's going to be very, very, very special. I would also like a confirmation that the handling is going to be exactly the same in free roam as it is on the track. I mean, I presume that should be the case. This could really take on the likes of Forza Horizon, if so. But I think we need to be clear here. Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown has just released Ibiza for free, and it's a really small area, but it looks like they're kind of building it as they go. And I wonder if that's what's happened to Assetto Corsa EVO. I don't think we have enough information about the free roam area here, but ultimately we will find out on January the 16th.
Let us say it before, will provide the most authentic experience of the franchise. The 1.0 version is expected for release on fall 25 and will include 100 cars, the open world, and 15 officially licensed circuits, and others will follow as free updates. Our team is working so hard to provide you with the best Assetto Corsa EVO experience ever. Thank you very much for watching and for your great support. Enjoy your holidays and get ready for the early access launch. Grazie.
So let me know what you think of that. Any questions you've got, I'm in contact with Kunos. I want to get your answers answered by them because I am speaking with them. So put your questions in the comments, and I'm looking forward to this game. I'm going to be buying it day one. Whether that's right or wrong, I'm going to do it. Let me know what your plans are, and I'll see you. Have a great Christmas as well. I'll see you next time.